Hi everyone, this is Michelle. Okay, I'm sure you all know by now. Okay, there are a couple of things I'd like to inform you guys about. Well, it's mid-February now. Okay, as of 1st March, there'll be some changes that we'll be making to things like the operating hours and yeah, certain SOPs that we have in place now. Okay, nothing too serious, right? But yeah, there was a necessity, or there is a necessity to put these things in place because I think we were there were instances that we were actually disadvantaged or abused, verbally abused by patients. By patients. So I think we're going to lay this out clearly to patients as well as the doctors, so that we don't become the punching bags. And I mean, after all, yes, for a lot of patients, we sell them the CPAP machine, we sell them a mask, but I didn't sell them my soul, and neither did my staff or my partner. Our souls are not that cheap. Okay. The first little change that we have would be operating hours. I think I mentioned this in a previous post. So operating hours will be shortened, right? It used to be 10 to 6 on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and 12 to 8 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays used to be 10 to 4. Now it's going to be Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. It's going to be 10 to 4. And for those patients that need to come in later, they can take the Tuesdays and Thursday sessions still. That will be from 2 to 8. So the reason why we're actually doing that is, it's to let us make better use of our time, because when the hours are that long and it's not like we have 20 patients a day, so we tend to have bookings in the mornings at like 10 a.m. and then I've got a booking at 5 p.m. and I can't do much in between. So if we actually pack the patients up closer, I think that would be better, and it will actually allow me to carry on with other activities such as my podcast, my video contents. Well, of course, some people may ask, hey, that's not your focus. Your focus should be patient care. Well, yes and no. Well, being a clinical sleep health educator, I think it's as much a responsibility of mine to be educating the general public, right? Heightening awareness on obstructive sleep apnea, as much as managing them when it is ascertained that they do have obstructive sleep apnea. And on the other hand, as I also mentioned in my post, what good is there if we have very good ENT surgeons, very good cardiologists, well, generally very good doctors, very good sleep techs, very good equipment, very good machines, but we've got no patients because everyone still takes this as a taboo. So I think creating awareness is very important, and it would benefit the patients, and it will benefit all of us. Okay. We will no longer extend our HCP benefits to families of healthcare professionals, except for the spouse. Okay. I think we have been very kind, too kind, and we have actually extended it to cousins, uncles, parents of healthcare professionals, and that has actually caused us some problem. Okay, we've actually been abused by parents of doctors who feel that they should have the right of way in everything because the child is a doctor. And I make myself very clear now that because we already give good service or what I think is what I feel is good service to everyone. There is no exception, and I can't give you better than good service, you know, because our service level is already there, and we're already doing the best, and we do the best for all patients. I don't care whose parents you are, you know, I don't care whose child, whose parents, whose husband you are, or what is your occupation, or what is your net worth, because all this is not important to me. I think ultimately what I bother about is patient outcome. So I don't think we deserve to be abused. Okay, so in this case that I just quoted, she was telling abuse. Well, the mother of a doctor was hurling abuses at me, calling me a liar and all that, because she called me 11 times at 9+ at night. And I was busy speaking to a patient, so I didn't pick up the call, and she started accusing me of lying, accusing me of being unreliable. And all this was because she had mistakenly packed her husband's mask into the trial machine which they returned. So she was very upset that I did not check and ensure that they did not leave their things mistakenly in the bag, which I think is very silly. We are all adults here. I think even kids can do better. You know, you have to check your own things, make sure your own things are with you. And if it's not with you, fine, mistakes do happen. I think the best you can do is just apologize for your mistake and say, hey, I'm sorry, I left my things in the bag, can I have it back? And not call, yell at me, holler at me, call me names, and start taunting me. And actually this started even before she realized that she had packed the mask in. Her husband had, who's the patient actually, her husband had requested for delivery in the evening, okay? Because I asked him at what time should we deliver the new machine. And he said in the evening would be better because all of us would be home. So I would suppose it was after dinner there, about 6ish, 7ish. At 5+ when I was next door speaking to the oral maxillofacial surgeon, and I heard my clinic phone ring many multiple times, you know, like really many times. And I ran back, I picked it up, and she started screaming at me, and she said, what are you doing? You know, what time is it now? You told my husband you're delivering the machine in the evening. It's 5:30. I've been waiting for the past few hours, and I've not seen anything arrive at our place. And I said, but it's 5:30. You shouldn't have been waiting for the past few hours if you requested for an evening delivery. Right? So she argued, and she said that evening is at 4. Okay, I don't have time for such arguments. Anyway, it's not to name or shame anybody, okay? The reason why I actually mentioned that it's a doctor's parents is because, yeah, we extended the HCP benefits to them as well, which means they got quite a huge discount from us. And we don't expect to give a huge discount, and not only are we not appreciated, but we are abused like that. Okay? So yeah, so it's linked to that point as well. We will not tolerate any form of abuse by patients, and I will have no qualms about rejecting such patients, okay? And I really hope that the collaborating doctors, the referring doctors will understand that. We know that you guys, most of you guys will tell us, oh, you know, don't do this, you know, don't put me in a difficult position. Yeah, but it's my sanity you're talking about. So yes, as much as we try not to put you in a difficult position, well, I mean, we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves, and we hope you understand that, okay? I'm not trying to be difficult. You can ask any of my collaborating doctors. You can ask a lot of my patients. In fact, we keep quiet about a lot of things. Unreasonable patients who do not return the machines for 6 months and go overseas and disappear, and yeah, you know, I think that a lot of these things which we just swallow and we just tell ourselves it's okay, we learn from our mistakes, let's not go back to the doctor and complain. Of course, in certain cases, yes, I do complain to the clinic staff and the doctors if they are pelly enough, okay? Okay, so yeah, besides all these calling, screaming, shouting at us, and then we get patients messaging us in the morning or messaging us early in the morning, in the middle of the night, telling me about his genitals and how powerful it is now, you know. I don't need to know all these, yeah. And then question, they said, oh, you're unprofessional. I thought, you know, you're a nurse, which is why I'm telling you about my sexual prowess. And I'm really not very interested in that. And you know, I think when it comes to things like that, if you do genuinely want to speak to me as a healthcare professional, as a nurse, you use the correct terms, right? You don't give your genitals pet names like my anaconda, you know. This is just so wrong, okay? So it's things like that which I think I have to put my foot down and make sure that it doesn't happen to us, because why should we go through such things? As I mentioned, we sell you the machine, we don't sell you our souls or our body, okay? Okay, what's next? Okay, I'm sorry if some of you may be offended by this, well, this is not even an outburst, okay? This is just this is just like a video to inform you guys about the changes that we will soon be implementing, okay? But I hope you're not offended. If you're offended, I apologize, right? But please try to see my point of view as much as I have tried to see yours for like the past 3 years, okay? We now have a very long trial agreement form. For doctors and patients who have started with me from the start, they know that I've never had a single trial agreement form. Everything was based on trust. That's how silly I was. Okay. And I've never asked people to sign for anything at all, okay? And this is despite people disappearing once in a while. Well, as long as it doesn't happen like all the time. Well, I could close one eye and, you know, but I think in recent months, or rather after going through a lot of incidents where patients lie, I don't even know why they do that, okay? They lie about things, they tell the doctors a different story. So I have stories to substantiate everything that we are doing now, okay? So for example, usually, okay, previously when we didn't have the clinic, we did home visits, right? And when we did home visits, I would also be lugging like 5 or 6 masks and in different sizes, if there are different sizes, to let the patient try, right, before deciding on which mask is the best. And I was doing that all the while, and I've never ever brought one mask to a patient's house and say, nah, this is yours, you take it, whether you like it or not, whether your face, you know, whether it fits your face shape or whatever, I don't care, you take it. No, I've never done that before, okay? Unfortunately, this patient who was having issues with the mask decided to feedback to the doctor. Well, the doctor actually asked, why didn't you try other masks? Why did you take this mask if you felt was uncomfortable? Her reply to the doctor was, I don't know, I didn't know there were other masks. Michelle just passed me this one and said it's good for me. Rubbish, okay? Rubbish. And I'm not afraid to tell the patients that, like, why did you say such a thing? You know, why are you telling the doctors rubbish? Why are you making up stories? You know, if you made a wrong choice as an adult who's 70 years old or 60 plus years old, I think you just tell the doctor, oh, I thought this was good for me, but after I used it for a few nights, I find that it's not really comfortable. Yeah, something like that. Sure, yeah. When they have mask leaks, they blame it on me as well. And they say things like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to tighten my mask. Thank goodness, I never ever delete WhatsApp messages, and that's why my phone keeps keeps saying like it's well, storage, that you've got no more storage space, basically because I keep all WhatsApp messages, okay? And I have WhatsApp messages to show that on day after night 1 on the patient's trial, I text the patient to tell the patient you have to tighten your mask. Patient said, oh no, I don't like to tighten it, it's uncomfortable. And I say, look, if you don't tighten your mask, it's going to be uncomfortable, okay? After 1 week, I think was day 7, when I saw that the leaks were still bad and the usage was very short, I told the patient again, look, you know, if you really want this to really work for you, you have to listen to me, you have to tighten your mask. I'm not asking you to over tighten your mask, but it cannot be floppy and flimsy, you know. It has to be snug. So patient says, okay, I'll try, okay. So very quickly 1 month passed, and then when the patient goes back to the doctor, right, and the doctor says, oh, okay, I didn't know that it was leaking and all that. So who does the doctor call? The doctor calls me, or the doctor gets the staff to call me and say, why aren't you controlling the patient's leaks, right? So well, I didn't mean to be rude. Well, I wasn't really rude, but it was a fact. So I texted the doctor and I said, you know, look, if I have taught the patient how to tighten the mask when the patient was here in the clinic, if I have sent reminders informing the patient that I've noticed high leaks and he should tighten his mask, if he still cannot do that, I said the next thing that I will have to do is to move into the patient's house and sleep beside him to make sure that each time his mask loosened or each time his mask leaked, I can tighten it for him, right? There's really, if you think about it, there's absolutely nothing better, that there's no better way. That is probably the best thing, the next best thing I can do, other than what I've already done. So the doctors have to understand. Sorry, have to understand as well that sometimes we tell the patients, we tell them that they may need to switch a mask, to switch to a full face mask. We tell them try taping the mouth first for mouth leaks. If they don't want to listen, we can't be the ones to be taking all the blame, you know. That's not very fair. I think it's very convenient to blame everything on me, you know. I mean, it's quite silly. I mean, if it's my fault, I'm someone that would say, yes, it's my fault. I apologize, you know, I overlooked it. But when it's not my fault, you can dream harder. You can dream harder. I will never say it's my fault. Yeah. And in the trial agreement form, there are even segments that talk about masks, right? How many masks were presented to you today? How many masks did you try? If less than 3, why? And which mask did you eventually pick and why? Okay? It's quite sad that we have to do things like that, you know. But yeah, we have no choice. Yeah, because of things like that, which I just mentioned to you. Yeah. Another thing which we include in the form is basically how to take care of your machine and your mask. Okay. In addition to this, to whatever is in the form, which is a checklist for me as well, because yes, I'm not perfect, right? Sometimes I may miss out certain things in a hurry. So getting them to fill up the form is like a checklist, okay? So you talk about, have you been told that you're supposed to use distilled water or filtered water for the humidifier chamber? We also have things like, have you been told that you should be rinsing your humidifier chamber daily? You have to rinse your nose piece daily. Have you been told that you cannot use abrasive solutions but use mild soap? We literally have to break all these little points down and make patients sign for it one by one. We have to do things like that because I just had one incident this morning, okay, where patient's son called me and messaged me to say that he wanted me to change his humidifier chamber. because the father has noticed rust on it and it's very unhealthy. So I said, no, that's not rust, right? I've seen enough humidifier chambers to know that it's the sediments. You have not used distilled water, right? Or firstly you've not used distilled water. Worse, you didn't top up your water. You basically just let it fry, and the brown spots are usually fried sediments, right? I told him and he insisted no. He said it's not, it's rust, it's brown. I had to tell this person, look, there are a lot of things that are brown. I mean, well, I've got something in mind now, but I'm not going to say it. There are a lot of brown things around us, but it's not necessarily rust. Yeah. Okay, so I tried explaining and he said no, and he wants it to be covered under warranty. And I said, no, warranty is for material and manufacturing defects. When it's a user issue, when you're not taking care of your things, it's because of negligence, your carelessness, we're not going to cover that, right? I don't think the principal's going to cover that either. And he wasn't too happy, so when I told him it's not rust, he insisted that they diligently wash the humidifier chamber daily, they rinse out the water, they change the water daily, they're using filtered water, and it still ended up rusty, so it has to be a fault, yeah? Look, that's not possible. I will attach the screenshot later, okay? And you can see, okay, he circled these two areas that had two little brown spots. He said was rust, right? But if I just move my eyes a bit further up, right? What's worse than the two spots? As you can see, like a very rough surface, like the little salt granules or whatever granules, calcium, whatever. I'm not very good at, yeah. And there was a whole brown patch as well. And that is very, very obvious. It's because the water wasn't changed. You probably used tap water. It wasn't rinsed out. It wasn't changed daily or even alternate days. I have done my own experiment. I have left tap water in the machine, right, for a week, and I still didn't get brown spots. It got a bit gooey. I got floating stuff, but no, I didn't get brown spots. So I tried and I didn't top up the water. I let it dry, and yes, that's when I got brown spots. I do experiments like that, you know, just to prove it to the patients that no, I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So at the very end, I told him, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to change it for you because it is not rust. So he said that before he was a doctor, he was a chemical engineer, so he knows that everything can rust. Yes, I know everything can rust, but is it possible to rust in a couple of hours? And when you diligently wash it like that, clean it like that, change the water like that? No, it won't. Yeah? I think I can ask anyone in ResMed if, you know, or if anyone from ResMed can answer me. If they follow the instructions, will it rust in a few hours? Well, rust doesn't appear like, you know, rust, you know, yeah, suddenly I see rust like a whole, like, oh, the whole thing is suddenly rusty. Yeah, so anyway, yes, so that is one of the reasons why I need to add that component into my super long patient trial agreement form, right? Well, I tried to trust the patients. Unfortunately, they showed that I shouldn't really trust them. Not all, at least. Well, but saving grace is that most of my patients are nice, okay, and they're responsible, and they're truthful. But unfortunately, you know, we have to do this across the board. If we need to see very problematic patients or patients that have caused us problems before, who have abused us verbally or whatever way, thank goodness it's not physically, because yeah, I mean, if you punch me, you can rest assured I'll call the cops. Yeah. So basically, if we are to deal with problematic patients, known problematic patients who are abusive and all that, we will have our body cam on, okay? We will inform clinic, we'll inform the patient as well. We'll get the patient to sign a form to say that they are okay with us having a body cam on. Yeah, and of course, if patient refuses, then we would advise the clinic to refer them to someone else, okay? We'd rather not take the risk. We will no longer deliver items before receiving payment from the patient. So sometimes I get patients that call me and say that, hey, this is urgent, my nose piece just tore, you know, I need it now. Okay, we send it to them, and after 2 months we're still chasing for payment. Okay, it's unbelievable, right? But yeah, for $75 we have to chase for like 2 months and we're still not getting it. Okay, so I think to make sure or to make life easier for me and for my staff, Kelly, I think, yeah, we will, all orders will have to go through our website, the e-store on our website, have to be paid, and all deliveries will be done within 3 days. The problem is a lot of these deliveries are urgent, and I actually have to send Grab, and because these patients are not willing to pay for delivery as well, so I end up paying like $27 for Grab because they need it on the day itself, and I was just informed at like 6 p.m. And I can't get the 4-hour service, which will be cheaper, and they live in Pasir Ris or Jurong or yeah, somewhere like that. Okay, so I think this has to stop because yeah, I'm actually losing a lot of money to things like that, and the worst thing is patients don't realize it and they think that it's an entitlement. It's not. One of the other changes is that we will no longer be obliged to answer calls, to reply your messages after office hours. Normally we still try to, right? Especially if it's if we think that the patient needs help, if I'm not tied up with my own things, yes, I will reply, okay? I'm not heartless, okay? And my point of all this is not to make things difficult for the patients, nor the doctors, okay? I appreciate every one of you, but sometimes it's very disruptive to my sleep, okay? I'm beginning to have patients who text me at 4:30 a.m. to ask me, can you tell me how's my progress for the CPAP? 4:30 a.m. Okay? Or I've got patients who are texting me to tell me whenever they wake up. You know, is it supposed to be有难同当有福同享, something like that, right? Like you know, if you have problems, we go through it together. Yes, I'm willing to walk your CPAP journey with you, but not in this way, okay? I mean, I think if this continues, before the patients get a stroke, I will stroke out, honestly. Because I think to date I've got like more than 500 patients under my care, right? And if I don't need all of you to do that, but if half of them do that and text me at 4 a.m, call me at 5 a.m, or 2 a.m, asking me, do you still sell this mask strap? Like, hi, you can ask me tomorrow or in the morning. Yeah, you know, so it's really because I think it's time I actually took care of my own health as well. Yeah. We will no longer be doing home visits. Since I have a clinic now, I honestly do not see the need to do home visits, or worse, free home visits. Okay? I have one doctor, one ENT surgeon who has decided to stop referring to me because I no longer do home visits for free. Well, the thing is, I can't possibly keep running out of the clinic to do home visits because I also need to be answerable to the other ENT guys or the other cardiologists that may ask patients to walk over from Mount E Novena. So how am I supposed to answer like everyone if I keep disappearing from the clinic, and when the patients walk over there's no one at the clinic? Doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So yes, that's one doctor that's totally stopped referring. I'm okay with that. Okay. It's very tiring, right? So some of the patients are like, oh, but you used to do that for my friend, you know. You can come after work, you can come at 9, you can come at 10, I don't mind. But I mind because I need to rest, because I'm tired. Yeah. So from now, we will not do any more home visits, full stop, you know. Previously, I actually set aside some time. I tell the clinics, okay, I will do it on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays when I close early. We can have one session 8 p.m. But no, I think that's not viable because because when patients know there's an option of a home care service or home visit, they will pick that, definitely. I actually need some of these days to do sleep studies at night, so I can't possibly wear myself out all the way from 10 a.m. all the way to like 11ish, 12ish, and then wake up the next day at 6 a.m. to go to the patient's place because, you know, I have to conclude the sleep study. Yeah, so that is one of the reasons as well. But there are exceptions. I will do home visits if the patient is old and immobile, or if the patient is bed bound, okay, or terminally ill. Yeah, I will go over and do it, okay, even if I lose a bit of sleep, that's fine. Those are the only instances that I'm willing to lose sleep for. Okay, not for able-bodied walking people who don't want to come over because they want to go for drinks with their friends, and they want me to go over to the place after they're done with their drinks at 10:30 for a home visit, things like that. No more. Okay, I used to do it, but no, not anymore. All right. Yeah, so I think I'm finally done. finally done. I think even the sky has grown darker. Finally done with my video. As I mentioned, this is not meant to be a rant. It's not meant to be a rant. It's not meant to be a name and shame session. It's not meant to discredit doctors' parents. Okay, but I just need you guys to see my point of view. Okay, this is also for patients, right? Patients, soon to be patients, to highlight the do's and don'ts. I mean, yes, I'll walk through the CPAP journey with you. I want the best for you. Yeah, so just do me a favor and just be nice. Don't make things difficult for me. Don't scream at me. Don't demand things from me. Don't be unreasonable. Yeah, and I think that's all. Have a good weekend, everybody. If you guys have any more questions, whether it's the patients, whether it's the doctors, please message me, right, at 8789-3139. Yeah, or you can just comment under the video, yeah, and I will get back to you with a reply. Okay, so once again, I hope no one's offended by this. I think this is the this is the most tactful I can go. Okay, I think there's certain things that have to be laid out on the table. I can't try to be nice and kind and polite and not be in your face all the time, you know, because sometimes it helps when when I tell you like how I just told you, okay, which is facts, which is truth. Yeah, so okay, I hope none of you are offended. If you're offended, buzz me. I will personally apologize to you if I feel that the way I may have brought the point across is wrong, right? But I will not apologize for the content because I think whatever I related today are factual, okay, and they're not assumptions, they're not accusations. These are things that have really happened. from 1st March onwards, we will also be implementing a consultation fee of $30. Okay, I'll explain why. Okay, actually all this while, yeah, I know you guys won't believe it, but I've not charged a single consultation. Yeah, it's always free. So they come in, they try the mask, they purchase the mask, they borrow the machine for a month, no rental for that as well, right? And I was fine with that. Yeah, although I do have some of my ENT guys nagging me, like, are you crazy? You're not charging? Why are you not charging? It's just a charge. Like, hello, you spend 1 hour of explaining. You should be charging. But I always tell them, nah, it's okay. You know, I don't want to, I don't want the patient to spend more money, you know. But yeah, after a couple of incidences, I think, yeah, maybe I should implement the consultation fee. Anyway, the 1 hour that I'm talking about starts from the time that the patient enters the therapy room, not the time they enter the clinic, right? Because I do take some time to do a proper registration, a bit of medical history or allergy, whatever, like allergy history, things like that. So that is not considered as part of the 1 hour, okay? The 1 hour starts when we're done the registration, when they enter the therapy room. Yeah, that's when it starts. So, yeah, so in recent months, as I mentioned, I've had really strange incidences where patient comes, right, and they try the mask, they take 2 hours of my time, and I don't mind, although bookings are usually for the standard mask fitting, which is a 1 hour session, but as long as I do not have a patient after that, I normally let the patient take however long he wants to. So a patient took about 2 hours, and at the end I said, okay, so is this your final decision, right? Is this the one that you feel most comfortable with? He says, yes, it is, but no, I didn't say I was going to buy anything today. I just came here to try out the mask. And I was like, okay, and he left, right? I would assume he went online to purchase his mask, whatever, because after all, he had already tried the mask, the size, the model, and all that over here. So that's quite unfair to me because I spent that 1 or 2 hours doing all the explanations, doing the monitoring, and all that. Yeah. Another incident. Well, it's not the clinic's fault. The patient already paid at the clinic, came by, took about 3 hours. Yeah, took about 3 hours here. Couldn't decide, so decided that she wanted to come back 2 days later to continue the session. So I agreed. Yeah, didn't charge her either for the second time that she came. So she came by, stayed for about an hour and a half, and decided that nope, she doesn't want to continue. So she goes back to the clinic and gets a refund from them. Yeah, so it's not good for any of us when things like that happen. Yeah, because it's a lot of wasted time, wasted energy, yeah, and we could actually have fit other patients in, yeah. Well, of course, not all patients are like that. I do have very nice patients as well, patients that insist on paying me. I had one patient who tried to give me $50, and I said no, I can't take it because I don't charge over here. And yeah, before I know it, I see a $50 note on the table. She's gone. She texts me to say, hey, this is that money's for you, keep it for all the work you've done today. And I'm like, okay, thank you very much. You know, I was really very touched. But I'm not saying that I expect all patients to do that. No, as long as I never said there was a charge, I'm not expecting patients to pay me at all, right? But yeah, but neither am I expecting to be taken advantage of, you know. So I'm not expecting patients to give me $50, no, which is why my consultation fee is just going to be $30, right? It's pretty much in line with what I used to charge when I was doing palliative care, palliative nursing, home care nursing. Yeah, which was like $25 per hour. Yeah, so I think $30 per hour is reasonable. If they do need the 2 hour session, which is what we call a mask fitting with pet nap, right, where you get to nap for whatever time they have left, that would be $50. Yeah. So do prepare your patients, and if you're a patient or a patient to be, do prepare that yeah, you will be asked to pay a consultation fee from 1st March onwards. We can give you a receipt for that, and you can pay by whatever mode of payment, Nets, cash, pay now, credit card, yeah, you take anything. Okay, so yep, I'm done. That's all for now. And the sky is dark now. Okay, so see you guys soon. Have a good weekend. Bye.